Hi, folks. We're going to be doing the math test calculator section. This is section 4. There's 31 questions. Get 45 minutes. I'm doing this with no preview, so it's possible I could make a dumb error, but hopefully not. First thing I should do is go to the grid in section, which is 28 through 31. So we're going to start with these. They spent an entire page showing you what not to do. The main thing is no extra zeros. For example, you don't want to put 2.50. You just want to put 2.5. The other thing is that you don't want to have mixed numbers. If you put 3.5, it's going to read it as 31 over 2. So just be careful. So let's get started. Let's take a look and see what it says. I'm going to zoom in on these so you can see them one at a time as I do them. Okay, the XY, let me turn it this way so you can see me too while I'm working and looking crazy. Okay. Intersection of the graph, linear function, a quadratic, and with the vertex of the graph is 419. What is the value of V? Okay. This one is at 2. This one is at 4. Looks to me like 3 is probably in between. So I'm going to guess it's at 3. 2 goes to -1. Oh, here we go. Okay. So 0, 3. Let's see. That means that a difference of 4, and that's 16. So it's definitely an x squared. That means that it has to be 1. It has to be at 3, and it's 1 away, so it's going to be at 318. And there's a way to test it to see if that's true. Let's see if 3 goes through 18. It certainly doesn't on this. Let's see, we're 2, -1, and we have a slope of, this is up 8, so it has a slope of 4. Let's see, 2, -1, we've got a slope of 4, that's up 4, no, no, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, up 4 and over 1. That one is going to be at, 518, duh, 518, is that right? Let's see. There's our equation. God, I'm so slow. 5x minus 9 goes through 5. 25 minus 9. 16. Is that right? That looks wrong. The only other possibility is if we go through 6. Oh, 4x minus 9. I'm being such a spaz. And 5 would go through 11. So it's going to have to be 6, and then it's going to be 4 down. So 6 and 4 down is at 15, and 615 is true. Oh, man, I'm slow today. Okay, a bunch of stuff that I did here. Basically, I just want to make sure that these points are on this line. I should have written the equation first and just picked some points. Clearly, it's 615, and V is going to be 6. Really bad. Could have simply guessed and found the value based on the parabola here and then just tested it. Made a whole bunch of errors. But anyway, really slow. In a college class, 78 students are going to a dig site to find and study artifacts. The dig site has been divided into 24 sections. There's 78 students. 24 doesn't go evenly into 78 because you'll have 3 with 6 left over if you divide 24 in there. Each section will be studied by a group of either 2 or 4 students. How many sections will be studied by a group of 2 students? Oh, x plus y equals 78. 2x plus 4y is equal to 24. Because there's 2 students in each one. Let's see if this works. -2 times -2. Nope. Does not work. All right. 78 students in all. Oh, x over 2, y over 4 equals 24 sections. Okay, there we go. So multiply this by 4, and we get 2x plus y is equal to 96, and x plus y is equal to 78. Going to change the sign. We're going to add those together, and we've got an 8. X is 18, and that was the ones with 2 students, so it's 18. A little slow today. All right, what about these? Let's see. Question 30, refer to the following information. Okay, this is some general physics formulas. What is the maximum height from the ground? The arrow will rise to the nearest meter. Okay, so this is probably the equation that they're going to use. Let me see what it says. Oh, initial speed of 100 meters per second. So the initial speed is 100 meters per second, and we want to know what is the maximum height of the ground. That is h is equal to v0t minus 1/2 gt squared. So v0 is 100 meters per second times t minus 1/2 times g, which is 9.8, times t squared. And we want the height to be maximized. This is 100t minus, looks like 4.9 t squared. And we want to maximize the height. If we find out when this is at 0, the arrow will reach its maximum height halfway through, assuming that you're launching it from the ground. Let's see if we are. Yeah, they're assuming that you launch it from 0. That means that the maximum height is going to be right in the middle of those two. So if I get this time, which is t equals 0, and 100 minus 4.9t is equal to 0, so I'm going to divide by 100 divided by 4.9. So 20.408 seconds is the time that it takes to go through the entire, this entire thing. So we want halfway, which is 10.2 seconds. So we're going to divide this by 2. And we're going to substitute that into our position. Let's see, maximum height. This is the position over time. Let's see what happens. I'm going to take 100. So I'm going to multiply this by 100. And I am going to subtract 10.2. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. That's 970. It looks like meters to the nearest meter. All right, so let's double check, make sure. Might be off a bit. It'd be really nice to have a graphing calculator for this, because then I could just put it in and find the maximum height. You definitely want to have a graphing calculator for this one. To reach its maximum height to the nearest tenth of a second. Now that one is the 10.2. So let's do some other problems. Let's see. Man, I've been messing around way too much. Let's get some good ones here. Okay. Tyra subscribed to an online gaming service that charges a monthly fee of $5.25 per hour. That's going to be 5 plus 25 cents per hour. That's C. 25 cents per hour is your slope. This is your y-intercept. That's the monthly fee. Probably right. I'm just going to put a check mark actually. On a certain day, the store sold a total of 281, of which 29 were individual bottles. Which equation shows the number of packs of bottles P sold that day? 281 bottles. So you're going to have to take 29 were sold individually, so you're going to subtract 29 and then you're going to divide it by 6. And a good thing to do is to actually do the problem. 281 minus 29, I should do it by hand, but I'm not going to. Divide by 6. There are 42 packs with 6 in each one. That's 246 plus 29 individual bottles makes 271. What happened? Must have made a mistake. 81 minus 29 divided by 6, 42. Times 6 is 240. Oh, 252. Idiot. And 252 makes 281. There it is. Can't multiply today. Okay, so A, I've double checked it. This line graph shows a monthly rainfall from March to October last year. According to the graph, what was the greatest change in absolute value in the monthly rainfall between 2 consecutive months? This one and this one was the greatest change, which is each one of these represents a half an inch. That's 1, 2.5 inches. And it's the greatest change. This is the steepest graph, so we just want to look at the change between them. What you have to be careful of is just not counting these. Each one is a half an inch. Rectangle P equals 2L plus 2W, and we want to solve for L. So we're going to subtract 2W and divide by 2. P minus 2W over 2. I guess I should show it to you. P minus 2W is equal to 2L, and then we're going to divide by 2. Which ordered pair satisfies the system of equations below? We could multiply the top equation by 2 and then add them together. That gives us 5x. That's 4x plus x is 5x. The y's cancel out, and I have 12 minus 2 is 10. So x is equal to 2. And negative 2 is the only other possibility, but let's double check it. If I put a 2 here and a negative 2 there, I get 6. And if I put a 2 here and a negative 2 there, I get negative 2. I've double checked it. A soda company is filling bottles of soda in a tank of 500 gallons at most. How many 20 ounce? So we have 500 gallons times 128. And then we're going to end up dividing by 20. Well, if I divide this by 20, I get, God, I'm slow today. That's going to be 225. And 25 times 128 is 3,200, 3,200. I just divided this by the 20 ounces. This is the total number of ounces. Now I'm actually going to do it with the calculator. That's 500 times 128 and divided by 128. Sorry, divide by 20. Duh. So we get 64,000 ounces. And we're going to do 20-ounce bottles. And so we end up with 3,200 divided by 20. 3,200 bottles. All right, a car traveled an average speed of 80 miles per hour for 3 hours. So we went 240 miles. Now, this is only an average speed. Consumed rate at 34 miles per gallon. Approximately how many gallons did he use for the 3-hour trip? So this is miles, and we've got miles per gallon. So I'm going to do 1 gallon for every 34 miles. And so you're just going to take the 240 divided by 34. I shouldn't do this with a calculator. This is 17. This is 120. 17 goes into 120. Looks like 7 times. This is almost perfect. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it with the calculator. 120 divided by 17 is 7.058. Double checked again. Double checked again. I'm classifying my answers to determine how sure I am of each question. Which scatter plot shows a negative association that is not linear? This one is linear. This one isn't a negative association at all. In fact, it returns. This has no association. This one is a negative association, but it's non-linear. Absolutely certain. The histogram shows the distribution of height in meters of 26 pyramids. Which of the following could be the median height of the 26 pyramids? Well, the median height, these are the number that are represented here. This is 2, 5, 17, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. There are 26 pyramids. We want the 13th. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 5. And the 13th is definitely going to be inside here between 45 and 60. The only one that's between 45 and 60 is 48. So that is correct. For the median, you want it to be in the middle. And out of 26 measures, 13 is going to be near the middle. It's actually 13 and 14. It's going to be the average of those two for the median, but that's okay. A survey of 170 random selected teenagers, 14 through 17, conducted. There's the data. Which of the following is the closest to the percentage of those surveyed who have a summer job? Do you have a summer job? These are all the people surveyed, is 59 out of 170. Yep. Should I do it without the calculator? Probably. That is more than half, isn't it? No, less than half. And not that much less. It's less than a third. Sorry, more than a third, isn't it? A third would be really close to a third. So I'm going to guess 35%. So 59 divided by 170 is 34.7. I got 0.347, which is 34.7%. And to the closest percent is B, absolutely certain. 2012, the total population of individuals was about 17 million. If survey results were used to estimate information about summer employment, which of the following estimates who had a summer job? You're supposed to use this percentage of the 17 million. So times 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 17 million is, wait. If this is the percentage, we would expect it would be about 5.9 million. What happened? Oh, 14 and 17. Maybe I made a mistake. I don't think so. 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 0.347. I am really confused about this question, but okay, I guess we're supposed to pick the closest one. Have a summer job, 59 out of 170. I think this answer isn't here, but okay. It's then done. How many times more likely is it for a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old to not have a summer job than it is for a 16 or 17 to not have a summer job? How many more times likely? So we want to look at the difference between these absolute values. Let's see, 20, it's about 2. So 1.64, let's see, 39 versus 20. About 1.95. Oh, to not have a summer job, sorry, 69 and 42. 69, 42. To not have a summer job is the 1.64. It's D, and I'm absolutely certain. Still not sure what's going on with question number 15, though. Put a question mark next to it. Man, I'm going really slow. Sorry, guys. The graph above shows the amount of protein supplied by 5 different foods, A, B, C, D, E, as a percentage of their weight. The cost of 10 grams of the product are which of the 5 food products supplies the most protein per dollar? Interesting. Percentages. So we're just going to take the percentage. We're going to take 30% of 5. We're going to take 25% of 4, which is 1. That's $1.50. That's 1.5. 250 percentage. B is 15% of 250. Oh, no, that is not what we want to do. Times 0.15. Nope. We want to divide. We don't want to multiply. We want to divide because we want most protein per dollar. So the protein is going to be, we can think of it a lot of different ways. It says 10 grams. So we can think of the 10 grams as the amount of protein as a percentage. Since this is 30%, it's actually 3 grams of protein for $5. This one per Yeah. So it's 3 divided by 5. 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. E is going to be 0.6. D is going to be 4. $4 divided by the amount of protein in it, which is 2.5 grams, which is 1.6. So that's how many grams of protein you get. Wait, this is 2.5 in 10 grams. 25% protein means you get 2.5 grams of protein for your $4. 2.5 divided by 4. 0.625. There it is. So slow, so slow. C is going to be 2 grams of protein for 220. $0.9 per dollar. And D, E is the only one. E, and only need, I don't even have to worry about C, I have to worry about A. A has 1 gram of protein for $2, which is 0.5. So C was the best one. I'm literally getting 0.9 grams of protein per dollar. So I get the most amount. In quadrilateral, A, B, C, D, B above. BC is parallel to AD, meaning it's just simply a trapezoid. AB is equal to CD. This is an isosceles trapezoid. If BC and AD were each doubled and BE was reduced by 50%, how much would the area? The area would not change, which is C, because these, if they're doubled and we cut this in half, we're doubling the size of the trapezoid in length and then cutting it in half for the height. So the area wouldn't change. If you want to see it, I'll do the proof of it sometime, but for now, I'll just put a little check mark on it. If I have time, I'll go back and prove it for you. Boyd grows only tomatoes and raspberries in his garden. Last year, he grew 140 pounds of tomatoes and 60 pounds of raspberries. This year, the production by weight of tomatoes declined by 20%. Okay, so it's going to be 80% of 140. By weight, the raspberries declined by 50%. So 60 times 0.5, of course. By what percent did the total yield by weight? So this is going to be 30 pounds. And this one is going to be 140 times 0.8, which I'm actually going to use my calculator for, which I shouldn't. That's 112, which gives us 142 pounds. And last year they had 200 pounds total. So it declined by a total amount of 58, but 58 is not the percentage. 58 is the number of pounds. Since it declined out of 200 pounds by 58 pounds, it's 29%. It's kind of tricky. Let's see. The graph above shows the frequency distribution, okay, between 0 and 10. What is the mean of the list of numbers? So we need to add all these together. So we have 10, 18, 25, 31, 35, 39, and 9 makes 48, 51, divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 numbers. 4.25. All I did was add up all the numbers together. The thing is, you have to keep in mind that there's a 4 and a 4 here and a 3, 3, 3 here. I added them all together just by counting up and then I divided by 12, which is the total number of numbers there. What is the maximum value of the function graph from -4? Oh, the minimum value. Well, it's -4. It's right there. Minimum value graph for x between -4 and 6. -4 is the least, so -2 is the minimum value for the function, because the value of the function is the y. Sorry, I should have shown this. Dang. Okay, so -4 is where it's lowest, and -4 is included for x, and that happens at -2 for the function. So that's the minimum. Pretty sure on those two. Let's see. Okay, according to Hubble's data, how fast in meters per second? Okay, so this is velocity in kilometers per second is 500. So they just want me to change it, kilometers per 1 second, and we want to multiply that. So we would like to change it to meters per second. So what I want is I want 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. And the kilometers will cancel out, and I'm talking about meters per second, which is 500,000. And of course, that's 5 times 10 to the 5th, isn't it? That's in meters per second. Oh, man. I didn't show my work again. Darn it. I got to keep remembering to look up here so I can show you where it's at. Sorry about that, guys. I just took the 500 kilometers per second, which is from here. That's Galaxy Q. That's how fast it's moving. And it says, how fast is it moving away from Earth? And it gave me 500 kilometers per second. And then I just multiplied it using, this is called dimensional analysis. I just multiplied by the 1,000 and changed it to scientific notation. There are 4 galaxies shown in the graph at approximately 0.9 megaparsecs. Are those parsecs? Yep, megaparsecs from Earth, 0.9. There's 3, actually there's 4. Looks like there's about 4 of them. Yeah, 4. Which of the following is the closest to the range of velocities in kilometers per second? This time we're talking about kilometers per second. Okay. Yeah, it's a good thing I checked. I wanted to make sure it wasn't meters per hour. Okay, so we just want to have the range. So we're going from about, looks like around 700 down to basically 0. So it's about 700. The range is like the highest minus the lowest. And the tallest one, if you look at the graph, is right about here. And this is at about 700. And this one is about 0. So between those two is about 700 kilometers per second. Based on the model, what is the velocity in kilometers per second of a galaxy that is 15 megaparsecs from Earth based on the graph? Well, you're looking at this graph, and we're saying it looks something like this. I'm just drawing a best fit line. Looks a whole lot like it has a slope right dead center like this. Now, we want one that's 15, so it's going to be 10 times as far away as this. This is about 750, so it's going to be about 7,500. All I did was continue this. This is a slope of 1. Now, if the slope had changed more, then I would have had to have used the equation. The equation is something like, minus 500. Still, it's going to be about the same. 0.5 is at about 750, so we would expect that 15 would be 10 times as far. It's just a nice linear relationship there. All right, we're almost done. Number 25. Janice puts a fence around a rectangular garden, has a length that is 5 feet less than 3 times its width. That is 3W minus 9 and W. And it says the perimeter is 5670. No. That's the area. So 3W minus 9 times W is equal to 5670. And what is the perimeter of this deal? Now, the perimeter is going to be all these added together, isn't it? We could solve this. That would do it. Trying to think of an easy way to divide this up. Let's see what the perimeter is. The perimeter is going to be 6W, 8W minus 18. That's going to be the perimeter. That's what I'm looking for. I sure would like to have a graphing calculator for this. I could graph this in just a couple of seconds and get an answer. 3W squared minus 9W minus 5670 is equal to 0. We want to solve this, but we also want to get a... This is not going to work out evenly. It says it's exact. Let's see. 8W minus 18. Let's see. 270 plus 18 equals divided by 8. Okay, this one is not possible. Let's try 300 plus 18. 39.75, that one doesn't work. Let's try this one. 318 plus 18 divided by 8, 42. And this one, 342. Here's what I'm doing. I'm solving this for W. 45. Okay, so my possible W's are 45 and 42. Let's see which one works. I'm going to try 45 right here. 45 times 3 minus 9 times 45, which gives me 5670, so I know it's A. What I did was I said, here's the perimeter, and I know that it's equal to one of these. These two gave me decimals, so I knew that couldn't be right since decimal W's aren't going to work. There's a bunch of reasons why that's true. If the decimal W's would have been 0.5, then it would have worked okay. But as it was, the decimals didn't work out very well. I could have, if neither one of these worked, then I would have had to try the decimals. But anyway, there it is. That is correct. If I were doing this with a graphing calculator, I would have put the system in the graphing calculator and solved it directly. Which of the following is B over A? Oh my God. B over A is tangent B. That's one answer. The tangent of B is opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent, which is tan B. Tan A is A over B. Sine B is going to be over C. And sine A is going to be over C. So D is the only one. You have to know your trig tables. That's all. Or not even that. Just have to know SOHCAHTOA. If you don't know what that is, going to have problems. But there it is. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. One more. Are shown which section or section of the graph could represent all solutions to the system. Y is less than or equal to negative x. This is y equals negative x, and we want y to be less than or equal, so we're talking about down here. So it's R and S. And then this one says y is greater than 3/2 x plus 1. This is the 3/2 x plus 1, which is right there, and we want it to be greater than that, so we're talking about section R right there. The system of inequalities and a graph are shown above. Which section or section of the graph could represent all solutions to the system? That is A, which is section R. It has to be, me just double check. Y has to be less than or equal to negative x, which is down here in sections R and S. And then it says that y has to be greater than 3/2 x plus 1, which is this guy right here. Has to be greater. It has to be up here. Yep, section R. That's it. I think that's it. And sorry, guys, it sure took a lot longer than I expected it to. Let's see how long it took us. Well, I'll pause it in just a second. Anyway, I'd have to leave some time to go back and look at things. Oh, look, and this sum. Dang, didn't do these guys. What is the slope of the line in the xy plane that passes through these points? We want 4 minus 1 is 3, and negative 1/2 minus negative 5 over 2. That is going to be negative 1/2 minus negative 5 over 2. That's going to be a plus, so it's going to be 4 over 2 or 2. 3 over 2 is D. All I did is subtract the y's and subtract the x's. And this is the difference in the x's. So that is 3 over 2. Yep. The scatter plot above shows a width and height of 12 types of rectangular emblems. What is the width in inches? My data point is the farthest from the best fit line. This is, of course, the best fit line. The one that's furthest away is 7, 4. What is the width? Which is going to be 7. That's all. God, I kind of centered that thing first. High school team won exactly 65% of the games it played during last season. Which of the following could be the total number of games the team played last season? Well, if they did exactly 65%, that's 13 out of 20 games. And the only way that is possible is if there are 20 games. Hopefully you guys learned your percentage differences. Remember that 20ths are nickels. And if they won exactly 65%, the only way that's possible is if you're talking about 20ths. A coffee shop is running a promotion where a number of free samples are given away each day. Okay. The equation can model the number of free samples Y. So Y are the free samples that remain to be given away after X days after the promotion began. So X is the number of days that have been going on. So after 11 days, they have 0 samples left. C. You just have to interpret it. And I think we got them all now. Dang, I'm slow. Really slow, guys. Yeah, I did all the problems. Didn't do a very good job of explaining them, though. I was supposed to come back to this one. And then I still got to go check on that other question mark one. Okay. What is the maximum height of the ground? The arrow will rise above the ground. It's going 100 meters per second. And we're using this position time 1. So the height above the ground is going to be equal to V0, which is 100, times the time. Now, I believe that its maximum height will be 10.2 seconds. I'm going to go a little further than that, though. I'm going to use the 10.204. And then minus 1/2 G is 4.9. And then this one is 10.204 squared. I'm just going to double check this, make absolutely sure I got the right height here. This is 100 times 10.204. This is 1020.40, of course. And then I'm going to take the other part, 10.204 squared times 4.9 equals minus 510.19. minus 10, 20.4, 510.2 meters. I don't know where this one came from. Nearest meter, 510 meters, huh? Let's see. Okay. I believe that I am following the idea that I am going to follow a parabola for this one. This is my position over time. And this thing is going to follow a parabola, and that there is no initial position, because if I had started above the ground, then it would have been had a P0. Anyway, I know that it takes 20.408 seconds to reach the ground again. So I know that its maximum height was halfway there. So I'm going to go with 510 meters for that one. There was one other one I put a question mark on. Let's take a look at it. Notice that I go back and look at these based on which ones I did not finish yet or which ones I had question marks on. Okay, this is our last one, and let's take a look. It says, best estimate of the total number of individuals between 16 and 17. That's why we weren't finding it. I'm so glad they didn't have that answer in there. There were 39 out of 81 who were 16 and 17. And we're going to multiply that 48% times the 17 million. And we get almost exactly this amount. I have to read the question carefully, between 16 and 17. So we had to use this part that have summer jobs, 39 out of 81 surveyed. Looks like I didn't make any mistakes. I'll check my answers just to make sure, but looks good. All right. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to take so long. Let's see how long it took.